Welcome to the launch of our hackathon during this Forest Harvest CBNE Forum 2021. Thank you for joining us this week as we foster information exchange, capacity enhancement, market engagement, and political action in support of community-based NTFP enterprises. Please be reminded that this session will be recorded. Now, before we begin, please note that there will be translations into 8 languages. If you need a translation, please click the interpretation button below and choose your language. You may mute or unmute the original speaker. Now, let's welcome our moderator, Chrissy Guerrero from NTFP-EP.
សូមស្វាគមន៍អ្នកសម្របសម្រួលរបស់យើងគឺលោកស្រី Chrissy Guerrero មកពី
Hello and good afternoon again to all of you. That was a great marketplace feature done by the Custom Made Craft Center. So remember, we have those features at every 12 o'clock and 4:30. So look forward to the products of the other countries. Okay, now for this part of the program, we'll be talking about the hackathon. Now we have more than 100 people in the room. Can we put yourselves on gallery view and tell me, use the reaction button, who in the room has never heard of a hackathon before? Please raise your hand, just like I'm doing now. Oops. I'll wait for translation, as I know this has to go into translation in various countries, in various languages. Who has not heard of a hackathon before? Oh, I see the participants in the hackathon raising their hands. It's kind of disturbing. Okay, so it seems it's a new word and there are more hands going up. Okay, so this is a rather a new concept, but it's a new concept that's being used by more than 70% of new enterprises in the world today to try to find breakthroughs to the problems of the world. Okay, everybody can put their hands down now and come back to speaker view. So now I would like to introduce you to the idea of a hackathon, especially those many that raised their hands that had never encountered this word before. As we know, technology and innovation are the key to the success of new small enterprises. This hackathon will draw on the creativity of the youth in local and indigenous forest-based communities and match these with student groups, startups, business sector representatives to get their head around problems facing CBNEs. Multi-stakeholders teams with a maximum of 5 participants have been formed, and we have 20 participants who have registered to join this hackathon or interactive problem-solving competition. We have tried to reduce language barriers by forming teams with people from one country, or at least those speaking the same language, in one group. And the teams are shown a set of problem statements, and they choose one to tackle. They will present their solutions to a group of esteemed judges, and then there will be winners. Those joining this hackathon are those from different sets, from community organizers who have deep insight in communities' systematic challenges and local context, to startups who can conceptualize products and build prototypes for testing, to business-oriented people who have a strong understanding of how enterprises can be scaled through marketing and economics. The unique combination of everyone's background, skills, and experience is what will make each team amazing. Each of the individuals who has joined has committed at least 2 to 3 hours per day across the 5 days of the forum for hackathon briefings and discussions, and be respectful of each other's ideas, be accountable for their
A hackathon is an event where individuals from different disciplines come together to solve a common problem theme over a short period of time. Hackathons are meant to quickly explore a problem space and to explore new radical ideas in safe environment. Diverse skills and perspectives are maximized while working with individuals of different backgrounds. Discussions and debates are encouraged, but with the short time constraint, innovators must come to an agreement and transform their insights into actionable solutions. Hackathons are fun, intense, collaborative experiences that are oriented towards creating and building solutions within a short amount of time. If you are an incredibly curious person who enjoys challenging yourself to solve difficult social, economic, technological, or systemic problems, then this hackathon is the right place to flex your creative muscles. You will be working with other individuals passionate also about solving problems, especially within the field of community forestry enterprise. You will also be guided by experienced mentors in the problem-solving process. By joining the hackathon, you and your team members have a chance to win modest prize money at the end of 5 days. And also towards future opportunities in going CBNE Forum activities till the end of the year.
Hi, I'm Bertie Salva from Curiosity Design Research, and I'm here to tell you a bit more about what to expect from the upcoming hackathon. Discussions and debates are encouraged, but the innovators must be able to transform their insights into clear, concrete solutions before the time ends. And even if the solutions are very early concepts, the goal of the event is to be able to spark new ways of thinking that is worth exploring further. Now, normally hackathons are primarily focused on programming and engineering challenges, but for this event, you can focus on either of these two types of challenges. The first are performance challenges, where your goal is to improve the performance of products, equipments, apps, artifacts, processes, or spaces. This is ideal if you have a technical skill in coding, graphics, engineering, operations, and architecture. The second are systemic challenges, where you are trying to address an entire system instead of just a single part. These are complex issues that involve multiple stakeholders and will require a multidisciplinary approach to tackle. A good mix of community organizers, policymakers, economists, designers, and technologists will be needed here. Now, each challenge requires a different skill set, so select the one that best fits your team's interests and experience. Good luck, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all in the hackathon.
Hello, I'm Harry and I'm from Indonesia, and I'm currently working in the renewable energy research there are quite a lot of problems that need to be resolved through this hackathon. I will contribute to the team to solve the problem. I'm sure with collaboration between many fields and a good teamwork, it will definitely produce the best solution for every problem. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maika Saar from Palawan. I want to join this hackathon because it was an opportunity for me to learn new knowledge and enhance my knowledge or skills. At the same time, these learnings will be useful and applicable when it comes to my community struggles or challenge. I think this hackathon is very challenging but worth it.
Hello, I am Jan. I want to participate in this hackathon because I want to explore new ideas. I want to learn new things about innovating and business making on community-based and forest-based levels. And also because I want to share some of my ideas, some of my outlooks based on the experiences that I have accumulated throughout the years.
Hi, this is Kanaya from Thailand. I joined the hackathon because I want to have new friends and also to learn more skills on community-based enterprise for women living in the forest. Thank you.
Thank you NTFP for organizing this hackathon. I believe there's a great potential for community-based non-timber forest product enterprises, and I believe that this hackathon is a great opportunity for like-minded individuals from different backgrounds to come together and explore this potential in more depth. I'm looking forward to it.
Hello, why Hackathon of CBNEs is very important. One, the Hackathon of CBNEs will increase skill and knowledge of CBNEs. Second, Hackathon also provide mentoring system for the CBNEs. And the third one, Hackathon of CBNEs also create innovative thinking of CBNEs. So please join us in the Hackathon of CBNEs. Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope you know now what a hackathon is from the video, but we'll be having the sessions throughout. And those who are interested in the next one, because this one's already running, can get in touch with us. So in the short video, our Hackathon Master, Bertie Salva, spoke, and you also heard from our mentors and our participants. So let me try to tell you a little bit more about them. So we have a PowerPoint to go with this part of the session. People are asking me how they can join. Send me an email, but for this one, we have enough participants and they're running. But if there's more interest in it, there will be more events happening in the later part of the year. Next slide, please. So this is our Hackathon Master, just so you know who's behind the direction and the direction of this event. So Mr. Bertie Salva is the co-founder and general manager of Curiosity Research. He helps companies discover product and service design possibilities that are inspired by local insight. He is a design researcher with a background in qualitative research, UX or user experience research, brand management, and systems thinking. He has led over 170 research projects in the past 8 years. So we're happy that he is leading our team. Along with Bertie, we have 5 different mentors. Our mentors are those that our groups consult with. So we have 4 multi-stakeholder groups, hackathon groups, who are trying to solve a problem throughout 5 days. And they can do their research online, they can call people, they can also consult with these mentors. And our mentors come from different backgrounds. Let me tell you about them. Our first mentor is Ms. Cecile Schkimmel, who has a background in visual anthropology and is the co-founder and CEO of PT the Bali Curator, based in Bali, which is a sourcing and production management agency based in Indonesia that focuses on bridging the gap between buyers and producers. She does this by educating both parties to evoke mutual understanding and setting up collaborations that are mutually beneficial. Our next Hackathon Master is Rock Gonzalez, a product and design consultant with certification in usability analysis and internationally recognized accreditation on user experience, or UX. He has completed over 100 design projects for more than 50 brands and businesses in over 15 industries worldwide in his lifetime. His identity works have won several international competitions, including Visual Identity Awards 2018, Logo Wave 2017, and Best Brand Awards 2016. Currently, he's managing the Design Manila studio. Our third our third mentor is Ms. Ruth Canlas, and she's the Executive Director of NTFP-EP Philippines. Under her leadership, NTFP-EP in the Philippines has grown organizationally and expanded to more communities. She has decades of work in various sectors, including students, workers, farmers, and indigenous people. Her academic background is in business management, and her expertise is in program management, financial management, and business planning. So Ruth is there for us for the NTFP work she's done for a long time, as well as her business background in being the management trustee as well of the Custom Made Craft Center. Next slide, please. So we have 2 more mentors. One is Yusuf Tatarigan. He's the director of NTFP-EP Indonesia. He's a forester and livelihood specialist focusing on identifying and developing integrated development approaches that enable local stakeholders to sustainably manage local resources to a community's livelihood objectives while achieving also environmental goals. And finally, our last mentor is Ms. Melissa Yung Yap. She's from the Philippines. She's the executive director of Gotthard Group of Social Enterprises in the Philippines, which includes Gotthard Foundation, Earth Kitchen, Gotthard Shops, Gallery, and Lab. And she's in the room now and saying hi to us in the chat. She is a professional artist and has been volunteering with various NGOs since she was 13 years old. She has degrees in development studies and entrepreneurship and is currently taking up an owner-president management program. She's also the CEO of Greenstone Pharmaceutical, Victoria Industrial Park. So thank you to our 5 mentors. The way it works is our hackathon groups are provided with consultation times of our mentors, and they can consult within those times. So our mentors are waiting for their time slots to get filled, and so that they can advise our hackathon groups. This is part of our team. These are our hackathon liaisons from NTFP staff who are also helping facilitate the groups as they move on from day to day, making sure they gel well, making sure they have access to information, and if they have anything to clarify, then they can do this with our colleagues. Natasha Mulyandari is the Deputy Director of NTFP-EP Indonesia with long-term experience in the fields of community conservation, participatory certification, and wild foods. Anang Setiawan is also from NTFP-EP Indonesia, a forester by training with skills in communication, agroforestry, and product management. Our next 2 liaison officers for this hackathon is Dazzle, Program Officer from NTFP-EP Asia with a background in urban and rural planning, currently assigned on programs with ASEAN and particularly on Mekong land and governance issues. Maina Pomerin is the Program Officer also at NTFP-EP Indonesia, handling the program on the Global Alliance on Green and Gender Action, or GAGA. And finally, we have our support team in the next slide. These are the guys doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So we have Diana, who's our intern. Her background is in event organizing, and that's why we've been able to get a lot of input from her in doing her degree now. And of course, Joy, who you saw made a great video. And she's also joined pitches and competitions before and has provided great insight to the event. And Grant Barakias, who is helping us as the language liaison. Okay, now I'm sure you're excited to meet our teams. Yes, to meet our teams. So here they are. There are 4 of them. This morning, they were matched together based on their skills, based on their interests, and their language also. And they were given choices from challenge questions, and they're on their way to trying to analyze which problem statement they would like to engage and how they would analyze the behavior mapping behind the impact that they desire. So this is team 1. Team 1 is composed of, the first is Dr. Shalini Dian. Dr. Shalini Dian is a senior scientist with the government of India. She is an ecologist by training who works on social ecological linkages. She is the South Asian Regional Chair for the IUCN Commission on Ecosystems Management and the lead author for the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPBES, Thematic Assessment on Suitable Use of Wild Species. So we are very pleased to have Dr. Shalini with us to help us with finding breakthroughs for NTFP problems. Our second team member of Team 1, who is still here and is our mangrove specialist and is asking the question about the mangrove cookies in the chat. She is actually based in France right now, and we have our hackathon sessions at 9, so she joins us at 3 a.m. So you can tell the commitment that these members have, and we're very glad to have them on board. So Agatha is from the Philippines, but is in France at the moment. She has a master's in plant diversity and management of tropical ecosystems. She is a Filipina who has been studying the tropical environment in France and pursuing internships in tropical countries. She specializes in coastal restoration, specifically mangroves, and has knowledge as well in gender and development concerns. Okay, and our third out of Team 1 is Nirmala. Nirmala is from Nepal. So we already have 3 different countries in this team. Okay, Nirmala is Nepali from the outskirts of Kathmandu in Banepa. She's the president of the NGO Mahila Jagaran Samuha. I hope I pronounced that well. It was established 25 years ago, and she has formed a cooperative with 2,200 members, especially assisting victims of domestic violence and those of poor economic condition. She is especially assisting them in entrepreneurship training and has created social enterprises around local candies, pickles, fertilizers, and even tailoring. So we are happy to have her here and to have her experiences as well. So the last, we have 3 members. For 2 of them, they're still submitting their photos to us, and some have not been able to connect because of the time issue, but we are getting in touch with them. So our 4th member of this group is Maika. Maika is a young indigenous Palawan woman from the island of Palawan, one of the last frontiers of the Philippines. She sees it as her role to protect the environment, as many things such as food and livelihood materials come from the forests, and in her area, especially the almasiga resin. So she is very much involved with restoration activities in her area, and she believes this hackathon experience will give her new insights and ways of thinking, especially in protecting her ancestral domain. Micah is not only the young individual in this group, we also have Wilson. He's in the 12th grade and signed up for this hackathon. Wilson loves planting trees and vegetables, especially during the pandemic, and he has interests in biodiversity and business, as well as in trading, and especially in the food business. Finally, we have Fule. or full, I'm not sure. He's based in Canada, so maybe having challenges with the time zones. He's the founder of the Association of Agripreneurs for Development and working in developing countries such as Cameroon on honey production. So that's team 1. Thank you. Now we go to team 2. Team 2, we have a great diversity of people as well. As you can see, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand. So our first person of the team is Stella. Stella is from Malaysia. She's a Malaysian student from the island of Penang, a budding interdisciplinary researcher, very keen on discovering new ways to analyze things and challenge herself. She has keen interest in environmental policy and climate change. She has done work on communications in ASEAN and has participated in waste management pitch rounds as well. The second in the group is Monsini Hinay from Zamboanga. So that's in the south of the Philippines. He's a co-founder and team lead of Kids Who Farm, a Zamboanga city-based social startup and advocacy initiative which aims to inspire future farmers by educating the youth on the importance and value of food and farming and providing them the platform to participate meaningfully in local food security solutions. He co-founded Kids Who Farm together with Raina, his 11-year-old daughter. So we welcome Monsi as well to the CBNE Forum and to the CBNE Hackathon. Thirdly, we have Kanlaya, or as many know her as June. June belongs to the indigenous group called Hmong and is now based in Chiang Mai, Thailand. She is currently associated with the grassroots indigenous women's organization based in Chiang Mai. She has 5 years of working experience on community development and economic empowerment of indigenous women living in the rural areas of Chiang Mai. She is particularly interested in learning more about communications and design, as she feels her organization needs these inputs. So that's 3 from team 2, and we have more. From the Philippines, we also have 2 more participants. And the first is Ana India Legaspi. She's an artist and delivers art on pineapple fiber, or piña, grown and processed on the island of Aklan. She has been supporting local artisans for decades and is a member of the Bamboo Council. Another member of the group is John Vincent Colili, or Toto, as he is known by his friends. He is also a leader of SMAC, or Samahan ng mga Katutubong Kabataan, or the Association of Indigenous Youth across the Philippines. He has been working to empower the community through environmental awareness and conducts research and manages certain social media pages. Yes, the 6th member is Dr. Syed, who is associate professor in non-wood forest products from the area of Kashmir, and his core areas are socioeconomic and commercialization of NTFPs and the role of NTFPs in rural upliftment. Okay, now we go to team 3. Okay, team 3, we have Yusuf Magwantara. He's a forestry graduate from the Bogor Agriculture University, or IPB. He stayed in Bogor to work with NGOs for 20 years and traveled around Indonesia until he finally settled down outside of Yogyakarta in central Java. He plays an active role in KKRKP, or the Coalition for Food Sovereignty. And in 2014, he founded Martani Indonesia, where he works with farmers, especially farmers of the blue pea, the butterfly pea flower, or known as bunga talang in Indonesia. Okay, and with him in this team, no, we're not finished there. In this group is Repia Kustipia. Also, she's from West Java, and she has an interesting background and profession. She's passionate about eco-gastronomy with the principle of start from the food system. She is involved in the fields of agriculture and indigenous people. She's looking at issues of balanced consumption and issues of food and climate change. and is working on ethno food from the forest. She is working for that in the Gastro Tourism Academy. Wow. And she has helped a pro bono school for women farmers named SIW, or School of Indigenous Women. So who else do we have with Yusuf? And yes, we have Sofriadi Safar. Mas Sofriadi is from Southeast Sulawesi, and he balances his time by both being a palm sugar farmer and working as a computer technician for his local district government. He says he lives very near the forest, so he's really interested in how to make sure his forest continues to exist for his children and grandchildren. He's also supporting the women in small business in his community. And finally, we have Nabhan Fadlan, who is from Central Java, and he's already also interested to join the hackathon for the research and networking purposes. And finally, we have our last team. So the first one in this team is called Patdai, or Desrizal Arlira, and he is from the province of Jambi on the island of Sumatra. So we have from Indonesia, from Sumatra, from Java, and from Sulawesi. So Desrizal is from Jambi on the island of Sumatra. He's from the organization KK Warsi and is focused on developing livelihood opportunities for forest-based communities, especially those that have received social forestry permits or village forestry and customary forestry instruments, working with local women and who are leading businesses and village-led businesses too, especially in looking at aspects of value addition and quality. With Patdai in his group is Gede Harry Arum. Harry, as he is called, is a graduating college student in renewable energy research. He has been working in the world of low carbon technology and innovation. In his research, he is working on the production of green fuel. Besides that, on campus, he has learned about business models in the field of renewable energy and technology. He has also tried to pioneer a business in agricultural technology. And the last two in the team, the first is Ibu Megan's son. She's an Indonesian, but living in the US and locked down there, so not able to come back to Indonesia as much as she wants. Megan is the CEO of PT Mega Organic. She is based in goes back and forth between the US and Indonesia, and she imports to the US Indonesian organic products and NTFPs as well, especially forest honey from the island of Flores. She has held fast to her passions and the vision of becoming a market leader and trusted supplier within the industry, and she strives for high quality products to provide economic and environmental benefit to the local communities of Indonesia. And recently, she received an award from the US Fancy Food Association for one of her products. And finally, we have Swati. Swati is working with the NGO in the tribal belt of Yavatmal and Gadchiroli district of Maharashtra state. She has been working with them in their livelihood and health and nutrition and food security issues. She feels forestry, community development, and social service are interrelated as she works with tribals who are dependent on forest and forest byproducts for survival. And she is interested in entrepreneurship, as selling goods made by the community can secure livelihood opportunities. So these are all of our, those are all the people involved in the hackathon. Every day we meet for about an hour, and then each group breaks out into their teams to discuss. And they can choose whatever time they would like to meet depending on their availability. As mentioned earlier, they are working on choosing a problem statement or a challenge. Either it's a performance challenge, which means they would have to improve a product or a brand or a system, and it has to be very innovative. It can't be something that has already been tried and they're just copying it. So it's not as easy as it looks, especially when you have our mentors and our judges on board. We also have systemic challenges. For example, those related to issues of intellectual property. issues of NTFP gatherers having to migrate over the border or to different countries to find work. We also have issues of deforestation. So these groups will be choosing one of the problems and be analyzing them and preparing solutions. On Saturday, the judges will judge their solutions based on this criteria. 25% will be based on their understanding of the problem. Okay, that's one big thing. 40% will be how clear there is a connection of the proposed solution to the root cause of the problem and how well are they addressing this problem. 25% has to do with a clear plan of how they will follow through and also how they will validate their solution. And finally, 10% is the bonus and for their presentation. So that comes to the end of the launch of the hackathon. Well, it was already actually has been going on for the last 2 days. And we hope to be giving some updates about it in the days to come in the newsletter that we're working on with the International Forestry Students Association. So please wait for that to learn more about it. So wish us well, wish those 4 groups well as they journey on, and we wait for these breakthrough solutions, which we hope can be materialized, can be concretized, at least some of them. And the winners of these of this hackathon will go on in future sessions where they can also apply for different grants or crowdfunding opportunities. So with that, I thank you for joining me. And I thank all of the hackathon participants that are still online now for committing the time for this process and trying to solve some of the larger issues that we face in this sector. So that's all for me for now. And we end this afternoon on that note. Please do come back tomorrow using this same link, which will be the link that will be used for the succeeding days. So tomorrow, we're starting our program at 10:30, the formal program. Of course, the hackathon, we start earlier. So please join us. Tomorrow is a full day from 10:30 to 6:30, very packed with sessions on ASEAN guidelines on sustainable management of NTFPs and harvest protocols. We also have several capacity building activities and master classes. We also have a session on learning about participatory certification and the Forest Harvest collective mark. So we have a lot planned tomorrow. And with that, I say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to spend this day with you, and we see you all again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak. Maraming salamat sa atin lahat.